Hey, welcome to Finding Hope in Your Marriage. This is a series we're doing here at Aldersgate Church. We've done Finding Hope in Your Mental Health. We've done a series on Finding Hope in Your Finances, and this is a series on Finding Hope in Your Marriage. So thanks for tuning into this episode. Tune into all the episodes that you want to. There are several different communicators that are going to be communicating in this Finding Hope series. But in this first episode, we're going to talk about pretty weddings and beautiful marriages. Amy, my wife, and I, we just celebrated our 28th wedding anniversary, and I can remember vaguely a lot of the planning it took to pull off that event, the wedding ceremony. Here's what I do remember, not so vaguely, but very clearly. We got married on July 31st, 1993. I don't remember the exact temperature. I remember it was hot, very hot. And I remember that the air conditioning in the church went out, kaput. There was no AC, and it was so hot. I'll never forget that. I also remember, not so vaguely, one of the planning things. I remember how you have to go and do your selections for your bridal showers and all this kind of stuff. And I remember telling Amy, look, I really don't have a lot of preference about those kind of things. I just don't want to eat on flowers or sleep on flowers. But I remember one day she drugged me into town to Dillard's. I think we were making selections for some plates and dinnerware. And my mother-in-law, my future mother-in-law, went with us, and we were looking at silverware. And I remember Amy showing me this particular brand of silverware, and I really didn't like it at all. And I remember making a very negative comment about how ugly that was, and I didn't want that, don't choose that. Well, I didn't realize it till later that evening when we were actually at my mother-in-law, my in-law's house, having a dinner party with our family. We sit down to eat dinner, and lo and behold, guess what silverware was laid out on the table? That silverware that I had been so ugly about was my mother-in-law's silverware. I'll never forget that. It was a terrible moment. There's a lot of things that go into planning a wedding ceremony. So many decisions that have to be made. Likewise, there's a lot of decisions that have to be made for a marriage to be beautiful. And while I can't be exhaustive in all of those decisions that have to be made, in this first episode, I just want to share 4 decisions that must be made in order to have a beautiful marriage. The first decision that must be made is this: divorce is not an option. We live in a culture where marriage is now viewed as more of a contract than it is a covenant. And God's view of marriage in the Bible is that it's a covenant, that it's something that's everlasting, it's eternal. And it's not a contract with opt-out clauses or if-then clauses or loopholes or anything like that. It's a thing where we have to make a decision: burn the boats. I mean, that mantra, that rallying cry, that battle cry has been made possible or made famous by a story that happened in 1519. And a Spaniard named Hernan Cortez was leading a group of men from Spain to Mexico to search after this hidden treasure that was rumored to be in Mexico. And when they landed on the coast of Veracruz, Mexico, he turned to his men, or at least rumor has it that he turned to his men and said, "Burn the boats." And what he was saying to his men, to his troops, was there's no going back. We are here and we are going to conquer. No matter what obstacles come in front of us, we're going to find the treasure and we're going to conquer it. And that's the same mentality we have to take into our marriages. Burn the boats. Don't talk about the divorce word. Don't let it be an option. Burn the boats and find that covenant concept of marriage. Amy and I kind of have a joke in our marriage. We're like, well, burn the boats. We're in this. It's a covenant. And so the joke that we kind of have is we're either going to live in this and be miserable, or we're going to find a solution to it. Now, I don't want to minimize there are times and instances and cases. Certainly God's heart is never for divorce, but certainly His heart is not for other things as well. And so I don't want to minimize that, but I just want to make the point that the first decision that has to be made in order for a marriage to be beautiful is divorce is not an option. The second thing, a little more lighthearted, the second decision I think we have to make in order to have a beautiful marriage is we have to have fun together. Do things to have fun together. Like continue to do the things that you did that were fun before you got married, the things that you used to date. Keep dating when you get married. You have to keep finding ways to have fun together. And that seems like, especially if I'm talking to a premarital couple, that seems so, well, that doesn't even make a whole lot of sense. Of course, we're going to continue to have fun together. But listen, life happens. Jobs happen. Kids happen. Schedules happen. And if we're not intentional, if we don't make an intentional decision to continue to have fun together, before we know it, we're going to look up and realize we're not having fun together in this. We're just checking off the boxes every day to get through life, and we're not having fun together. And whatever season of life you're in, whether it's pre-kids or with kids or as empty nesters, you have to continue to communicate on what you're going to do to have fun together. I would also say, and this is the third one I'll give us, is that we have to grow together. You know, in life, we're either growing or we're dying. We're never standing still. We're either moving forward or we're moving backward. And as husband and wife, we have to make the decision to grow together. I often talk to people in terms of a triangle. So think about a triangle. And as a triangle, the base is here, and as the sides are going up, if the husband's on this side and the wife is on this side, and God is at the top, if I'm growing closer to God and my wife is growing closer to God, look what happens to us together. We're growing closer together. That priority has to be to grow closer to God. And as we grow closer to God, we grow closer together. And as things come up in our marriages, as obstacles and different issues and things come up, we make a constant effort to grow through those things together. And there are seasons, 28 years, seasons in my marriage where I've needed more encouragement in areas of growing. And then there are seasons where my wife Amy's needed more encouragement in areas of growing. And we're in it together. We're better together. And we help each other grow together through those things. And I just want to admonish the husbands, if you're listening right now. Husbands, take the lead in growing together. Take the lead in growing closer to God, and therefore you'll grow closer to your wife. Take the lead in praying together with your wife and with your kids, if that's applicable. Husbands, take the lead. The fourth one, and I'll leave us with this, the fourth decision we have to make in order to have a beautiful marriage is live your marriage and not somebody else's. Live your marriage and not the marriage you see on Facebook. Live your marriage and not the marriage you see someone else presenting to you. Live your marriage and not someone else's. This is between you, your spouse, and God. Live that marriage and not the marriage you see portrayed in so many different places. Listen, I want to encourage you, if you're joining us in this Finding Hope series, to do something else. There's lots of other episodes, and I would encourage you to watch those episodes. But one of the things I would encourage you to do is pick up this devotional book. It's called 2 as 1. And it's a devotional book written by Ryan and Selena Fedrick. They've done some they have great marriage ministry. They've done great. In fact, you can check out their website. There's all kinds of great marriage resources on their website. But this is a devotional. It's 30 days. It's something that you and your spouse do together. It's 2 as 1, connecting daily with Christ and your spouse. And if you're looking for something, I would encourage you to pick this up. You can pick it up at their website. Let me make sure I get this right. Their website is 2as1devotional.com, 2as1devotional.com, or you can even pick this up off of Amazon. But pick it up, begin to work through it, and see what God does in making your marriage beautiful or keeping your marriage beautiful. So again, thanks for joining us for episode 1. You can watch episode 2 now, or click forward to your favorite episode and join us there.